Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavatasya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 14, Lord Krishna explains the yoga system to Sri Uddhav. Text number 10 onwards. So Uddhavji had asked about devotional service and Krishna started to speak. So further, text 10, he's saying, Dharmam meke yashaschanye kamam satyam damam shamam anye vadanti svartham vaha aishwaryam tyaga bhojanam kechidyagyam tapodanam vritani nemanyaman. So previous verse, Krishna said, or in the purport it said, everyone thinks what's good for me is good for everyone. So everybody has their own interpretation about what is the best thing to do in life. So taking on the same theme, Krishna is saying, some say that people will be happy by performing pious religious activities. Others say that happiness is attained through fame, sense gratification, truthfulness, self-control, peacefulness, self-interest, political influence, opulence, renunciation, consumption, sacrifice, penance, charity, vows, regulated duties, or strict disciplinary regulation. Each process has its proponents. So this we hear even in general public, for everybody that we meet. Why you want to do bhakti? Do this, do that, and you will be happy. But we have to see what Krishna says. So here he is saying all these processes has its own followers. Dharmam eke refers to those atheistic philosophers called karma mimamsaka who state that one should not waste time worrying about a kingdom of God that no one has ever seen and from which no one has ever returned. Rather, one should expertly utilize the laws of karma, performing fruitive activities in such a way that one will always be well situated. So if somebody is materially well situated according to them, he will be happy. Concerning fame, it is said that as long as the fame of a human being is sung in the pious planets, he may live for thousands of years in material heaven. So yeah, that's also like political leaders, their followers, they say, oh, jab tak suraj chand rahega, and so, tera naam rahega. What's the use of that fame? Of course, the person, nobody will remember 10 years later. What, even if somebody is famous, what's the use? It's all material. Kamam refers to Vedic texts like the Kama Sutra, as well as millions of modern books that advise one about sex pleasure. Some people state that the highest virtue in life is honesty. Others say it is self-control, peace of mind, and so on. Each viewpoint has proponents and quote-unquote scriptures or the books to prove that. Others say that law, order, and morality are the highest, whereas still others propose political influence as a real self-interest of human beings. Some state that one should give away one's material possessions to the needy. Others state that one should try to enjoy this life as far as possible, and others recommend daily rituals, disciplinary vows, penances, and so on. So, yato mat tato pat. As many people are there, that many paths will be there, or they think are there. And according to their viewpoint, they are all right. Nobody is wrong, but it's all relative viewpoint. We have to find out what's the absolute, what Krishna is saying. Adi antavanta evesham loka karma vinirmita dukho darkastamo nishtha kshudra manda shucharpita. All the persons I have just mentioned obtain temporary fruits from their material work. Indeed, the meager and miserable situations they achieve bring future unhappiness and are based on ignorance. Even while enjoying the fruits of their work, such persons are filled with lamentation. So, all this lead into is unhappiness. Future, it's all unhappy. Because they're going to lose whatever they gain, whether it is material opulence, fame, whatever it is, they're going to lose. Or even it is somebody is politically very well situated. How many years he can enjoy like this? Those who have grasped temporary material things, mistaking them to be the ultimate reality, are not considered very intelligent by anyone except themselves. Such foolish persons are always in anxiety because by the laws of nature, the very fruits of their work are constantly being transformed in ways neither desired nor expected. The performer of Vedic rituals can elevate themselves to heavenly planets, whereas one who is atheistic has a privilege of transferring himself to hell. The entire panorama of material existence is actually uninteresting and dull, manda. One can make no real progress within the material world. Therefore, one should take to Krishna consciousness and prepare oneself to go back home, back to Godhead. So, material world, no matter how much progress one makes, whether on earth, because we have only experience of people living on earth, whether somebody makes billions and billions of dollars, is he happy? No. Is the future, is he going to be happy? No. Then what's the point? Spending so much of time, so much of energy in making billions and billions of dollars. Ultimately, what? And even if he so-called material enjoyment, he enjoys it, this life, at the end, he has to leave everything, go away. But Krishna says, Maya arpitatmana sabhya nirapekshasya sarvata mayatmana sukham yattat kuta syad vishayatmana. O learned Uddhav, those who fix their consciousness on me, giving up all material desires, share with me a happiness that cannot possibly be experienced by those engaged in sense gratification. And this is Krishna's viewpoint. So what's the right thing to do? The actual purport of Vedic knowledge is explained in this verse. The word Vishayatmanam includes those who are cultivating material peace of mind, self-control, and speculative philosophy. But even if such persons rise to the platform of Sattvagun, the mode of goodness, they do not attain perfection because Sattvagun, being material, is also part and parcel of Maya or illusion. As stated by Narad Muni, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not inclined to award himself even to one who executes yoga system, speculative philosophy, which is Jnana Yoga, the renounced order of life, or Vedic studies. Jnana, yeah. Indeed, no so-called materially auspicious process can induce the Lord to reveal himself. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, one enjoys a happiness is spoken of in this verse while associating in one's own spiritual body with the supreme transcendental form of the Lord. The Lord's transcendental form is filled with infinite, wonderful qualities. And the happiness of being with the Lord is unlimited. Unfortunately, materialistic people cannot possibly imagine such happiness, since they are not at all inclined to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the materialistic people, they just cannot imagine, cannot understand, can't even fathom what kind of happiness we are talking about. All happiness that we have seen in this world is get more money, get this possession, that possession, and then one will be happy. That's where it's like Rupa Goswami says in one word, the happiness found in the material world is like few drops of water for a person who is suffering in a desert, who wants an ocean, but you give him just few drops and we think he'll be happy. Can never be happy. Akinchanasya dantasya shantasya samachetasa maya santushta manasa sarva sukha maya disha. One who does not desire anything within this world, who has achieved peace by controlling his senses, whose consciousness is equal in all conditions, and whose mind is completely satisfied, and he finds only happiness wherever he goes. So nothing material can make one happy. A devotee who is always meditating upon Lord Krishna experiences transcendental sound, touch, form, flavor, aroma in the pastimes of the Lord. These sublime perceptions are certainly due to the causeless mercy of Lord Krishna upon one whose mind and senses are completely satisfied at him. Such a person finds only happiness wherever it goes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives the example that when a very wealthy man travels all over the world, at every place he stays, he always enjoys the same luxurious standard of comfort. Similarly, one who has developed Krishna consciousness is never separated from happiness, because Lord Krishna is all-pervading. See, one who has developed Krishna consciousness is never separated from happiness, because Lord Krishna is all-pervading. So the happiness that the person, devotee receives, is always the same, no matter wherever he is. He's always enjoying internally. And that's what even Lord Shiva says. Whether a devotee goes to hell, heaven, or anywhere, he's always the same. Because he's always enjoying Krishna, Krishna's company. Krishna is everywhere. And the devotee enjoys his company everywhere. The word kinchan indicates the so-called enjoyable things of this world. One who is a kinchan has correctly understood that material sense gratification is simply the glare of illusion, and therefore such a person is dantasya, or self-controlled, shantasya, or peaceful, and maya santushta manasa, or completely satisfied with this transcendental experience of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the position of a devotee. He doesn't need to look anything outside. Everything is with him, inside him. Na paramesthayam na mahendra dishnayam, na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam, na yoga siddhira punarbhavam va, maya arpitatme chati madvinanya. Wow. One who has fixed his consciousness on me desires neither the position or abode of Lord Brahma or Lord Indra, nor an empire on the earth, nor sovereignty in the lower planetary systems, nor the eightfold perfection of yoga, nor liberation from birth and death. He doesn't even want that. Such a person desires me alone. So many times people say, oh, just become desireless and that will make you happy. No, desireless, the desirelessness is not at all possible. Because that's also a desire, to become desireless. So the real desirelessness is to desire service of Krishna. That's all. Because that's spiritual desire, it's not at all material. Other than that, a devotee doesn't desire anything. Even the position of Brahma or Indra or the whole emperor to become an emperor of the earth, whole earth, nothing. He doesn't want it. Not even liberation from birth and death. Just give me birth after birth. That's what Mahaprabhu also said. The position of the Akinchan pure devotee is described in this. Shri Priyavrat Maharaj is an example of a great devotee who was not interested in universal sovereignty because his love was completely absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord. Even the greatest material enjoyment appears most insignificant and useless to a pure devotee of the Lord. He doesn't care for anything. न तथा मे प्रियतम आत्मयोनिर न शंकर न च संकर्षणो न शरीर नैवात्मना च यथा भवान. It's a beautiful verse what Krishna says. My dear Uddhav, neither Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Sankarshan, the goddess of fortune, nor indeed my own self is as dear to me as you are. That's how he treats his devotees. The Lord has described in the previous verses the unalloyed love of his pure devotees for him. And now the Lord describes his love for his pure devotees. Atma Yoni means Lord Brahma, who is born directly from the Lord's body. Lord Shiva always gives great pleasure to Lord Krishna by his constant meditation upon him. And Sankarshan or Balaram is the Lord's brother in Krishna Lila. The goddess of fortune is the Lord's wife. And the word Atma here indicates the Lord's own self as a deity. None of these personalities, even the Lord's own self, are as dear to him as his pure devotee Uddhav, an Akinchan devotee of the Lord. Srila Madhvacharya cites from Vedic literature the example that a gentleman sometimes neglects his own interests and that of his children to give charity to a poor beggar. Similarly, the Lord gives preference to a helpless devotee who depends completely on his mercy. The only way to obtain the Lord's mercy is through his causeless love, and the Lord is most lovingly inclined towards devotees who are most dependent on him. Just as ordinary mothers and fathers worry more about their helpless children than about those who are self-sufficient. That is true, actually. Even ordinary mother and father, they care more for helpless children or the children who are not that well materially. They care for those. Then those who are self-sufficient, yeah, they are dear, but they know they can take care of themselves. But this child, we have to take care of. And same thing with the Lord. Those devotees who are more dependent on the Lord, they're more dear to him. Thus, even if one lacks any material qualification, one should simply depend upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead without any other interest, and surely one will achieve the highest perfection of life. So, it's not that material qualification is required in bhakti, no. Only thing that is required is how much we are surrendered, how much we are dependent on the Lord. It's funny, other day I was discussing this with somebody, and I said, and he was like, so we should not even think of protecting ourselves or taking care of ourselves. We have so much of whatever material education we got and capabilities we have. I said, well, this is what Krishna wants. Of course, it's difficult to give up everything and just completely surrender for being dependent. I said, but this is what Krishna wants. Arjun had everything we can even think of or beyond. He had good parentage. He was a prince. He was a warrior, best warrior in the world. Or he went to heaven also. He was very good looking. He didn't lack anything, good knowledge, everything he had. And still Krishna told him what in Bhagavad Gita? Nimitta matra bhava savyasachi. You are savyasachi. You are the warrior, great warrior, a winner, everything. But become an instrument in my hands. Means give up all your titles that I am this and that, I can do this. No, just become an instrument in my hand. Tough thing to do for Arjun, being such a great personality. So through him, actually, Krishna is trying to tell us, or not trying, he is telling us, we have to just surrender. And then we become very dear to Krishna when we are dependent on him. Because all our qualities, all our titles, entitlements is based on this body. And this is the bhakti that we get out of this idea of this body. I'm this body. Whatever Krishna wants to do through us. And Prabhupada, when he went to America, at Boston, he wrote a nice poem in the ship, Markine Bhagwat. And it said, oh Krishna, I don't know what purpose you have by bringing me here, what purpose you want to fulfill. All these people, he just got down in Boston for a while, went for a walk with Captain Pandya, and came back to the ship. And he realized all these people, they are in mode of ignorance and passion. But you have brought me here, you must be having some purpose. So you just make me dance like a puppet. Just make me dance. Although you gave me the title Bhakti Vedanta, but I don't think anything will work here. But you have brought me here, there must be some purpose. You just make me dance. So that's when the devotee becomes very dear to Krishna. So Krishna can utilize all the qualities of the devotee, or he can give any qualities he wants. What's so difficult for Krishna? He just wants us to surrender. That's all. That's the most difficult thing to do, actually. Because I think I am this, I have this, I know this, I have these many degrees, college degrees, that many qualifications. But that's not what Krishna wants. It is difficult. It's not easy. It's not at all easy. I mean, that's what people don't understand. When they see devotees, why you want to surrender? Because this is what Krishna wants. That is bhakti. I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. I'm audible?
Thank you, Mata. Yes, yes.
Okay. Prabhuji, how do we come to know that in a position that this is what Krishna wants, or are we captured by Maya? The difference, where will we, मतलब मेरे जैसे बंदे को लिए कैसे समझ में आएगा कि this is what Krishna wanted, this is I should do this, or this is just a Maya and I'm just in an illusion or something like that.
Well, that's when if we have a real guru, he can guide us. Or this is my suggestion to everybody who I speak with. Just ask Prabhupada. Prabhupada is our link to Krishna. So we think he's not alive, he's alive. He can still guide us. So whenever there is some doubt, ask Prabhupada. Through his books, he can guide us what Krishna wants.
Okay.
It definitely happens.
इसको समझने के लिए भी तो that that intelligence should be there, ना?
Prabhupada will take care.
Okay.
He will take care of anything that is lacking. He will take care.
Okay. Thank you, Babuji.
Thank you, Mat. Chalo, I guess we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful Gita Jayanti. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Jai
you.
Shri
Hare
Ram.
Krishna. Same to you, Babuji. Take care.